This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I'm your host, Dan, and today's game will be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Markkus and David versus Benchwarmer Eric Eid and newcomer Vinnie Iyer, one of our assistant coaches for our Patreon team. Welcome to the bench, Vinnie. Why don't you take a minute to let us know where you're from, what teams you root for, and anything else you'd like to share.
Yeah, because there weren't enough people from North Carolina on this podcast, I'm from Charlotte. And if just in case there were not enough guys that are brown and have not enough hair, I figured you guys needed to expand that as well. So I'm trying to help out on both cases. I don't think you had enough representation in those areas. So I'm trying to help out to diversify this podcast a little bit.
Better than Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah, I've been to Minnesota, but I have not. I once twisted my ankle walking out of a Northwestern Minnesota game in the Metrodome. So that's one of my memories from Minnesota. So
I'm sorry that you had to go to a football game at the Metrodome. Sorry about that.
And sadly, I'm a Northwestern fan in football and basketball, all things. So it's been a lot of pain since 1995. When we went to the Rose Bowl, up and down, we didn't win many games this year. But that's my favorite college team. My favorite pro team is the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm from St. Louis originally, so otherwise, I cover the NFL for Sporting News, so I think I should know some things about it sometimes, I've been told. But, yeah, and a lot of my sports knowledge runs old school, probably reflecting my age as well.
All right. And Eric.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
I claimed another championship today. So
really?
Yeah. Other than that, I'm good. Just watching basketball.
So besides being a Stanley Cup champion, what else are you?
Well, it's our team name today. So I was told Vinnie has appeared on a trivia game show that people might know. And I've decided to go with my Stanley Cup championship to also claim that. So our team name today is Jeopardy Champions.
You've got quite the resume being built up, by the way.
It's pretty impressive. I'm pat myself on the back daily.
and very loudly too, I might add.
Yes, my wife hears it all the time.
All right, David and Markkus, how you doing?
I guess I better go first since Markkus has our genius team name. I'm good. Doing a lot of recording lately, feeling good, and a little bit nervous about facing Vinnie. I'm intimidated.
Hi, I'm doing well. Just as Eric stated, sometimes you like to watch games and have money on them. So that's the thing that's happening right now. It's been a little up and down, but when you hit a couple of weird parlays, maybe wild card weekend, you guess every game right. You can coast off of that for a little while. But as far as our team name goes, I feel very much for the Colts and their fan base. And I am actively rooting for them to avoid something. And so David agreed with me, and we're going to be Jimmer says Saturday Night Fever, and hopefully he breaks that fever.
Back to you, Dan.
Hey, thank you. Back to me. Well, since it's back to me, I'm going to kick it back to another me. We're going to kick it over to me for the rules. The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway. Today's first quarter will be Flop, Turn, and River. Flop, Turn, and River. For this quarter, there will be 3 questions consisting of 5 clues. The first 3 clues will be given before the teams decide if they want to check in with their guess. The last 2 clues will be given one at a time, with teams deciding if they want to check in with their guess after each subsequent clue. If a correct answer is checked in after the first 3 clues, the team will receive 50 points. After the 4th clue, 30, and after the 5th clue, 20. Question number 1 in Flop, Turn, and River. This is a Who Am I? I was born in 1984 in St. Paul, Minnesota. I began an interest in my sport at the age of 2 and quickly took after my father, who was a national junior champion. I am known professionally by my married name, even though I have been divorced since 2013.
We will take another one.
All right. Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever is going to take another one. So, champions, how about you?
Yeah, I think we need another one.
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah.
All right.
It's early.
Yeah, we'll take another.
Yeah.
All right.
Just know, Dan, I did not want to. If I was not with
Under duress.
If I was with another bench runner, I would have swung for this and just went for it.
All right. Well, let's see if he would have gotten it.
Yeah, Vinny, just so you know, he doesn't like to take more clues. That's sort of a thing. So.
Or read
All
questions. Right. No, sorry.
Here comes the turn.
See? There we go. That's what we like.
Here comes the turn.
Okay.
I would win 3 straight World Cup titles in 2008, 2009, and 2010, as well as win my country's first gold medal in one of my events.
Yeah. Go ahead. Check that in.
Yeah, checking in.
Jeopardy champions have checked in. So Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever, you can talk it out.
So, Markkus, I guess the first question is, what sports have World Cup titles every year? Let's start with that. Because it's obviously not soccer, and it's not one of the major sports, so it's probably an individual sport. Do they do skiing? Because I'm obsessed with winter sports now because it's Minnesota, but maybe that's just a red herring.
I mean, it could be. Or were you thinking like Lindsey Vonn, like somebody like that, or
do we know anything about Lindsey Vonn's parentage?
No, I have no idea. I felt good about track a little bit, and then it was like World Cup. It would be World Championships. It wouldn't be a World Cup.
Probably a woman, we decided, right? I mean, given that the way it said married name, I don't feel like I have much to latch onto here.
No, I don't have anything other than, it's an Olympic sport,
right? But
World
Cup
titles,
country's first gold medal in one of my events. That's interesting.
Right.
So swimming, track, even skiing has multiple events.
Right.
Lindsey Vonn sounds interesting to me because what's her name? Michaela Schifrin just passed her, and that was a whole big thing. So this is timely.
It is the first question of the game. We could absolutely take another clue.
I know. All right. We'll take another clue.
All right. For your eyes only on the river. In 1993, I met my idol, Peekaboo Street, who served as my mentor in my skiing career.
Yes, it's Lindsey Vonn. It's 100% Lindsey Vonn. I didn't remember she was from Minnesota. I remember when she got married. I feel like she got divorced earlier than that, but not that I really keep track of Lindsey Vonn. That sounds a little stalky. All right, it's Lindsey Vonn, though, for sure.
David stalking Lindsey Vonn lately.
We'd like to submit a team name change, Stalking Lindsey Vonn.
Jeopardy champions. What did you say?
So doing this podcast, I've learned way too many people from Minnesota. And I don't know, for some reason, we couldn't think of the sport right off the bat. We need figure skating. And I sent to Vinny, I'm like, I think Lindsey Vonn's from Minnesota. He couldn't confirm. So we took one more. And then that second part, everything made sense. We went with Lindsey Vonn.
I just had to make sure it wasn't Lindsey Woods or Lindsey.
Oh, geez. Subban.
He just retired. So congratulations. Yeah.
Both teams are getting points on this one. Correct answer is Lindsey Vonn. Yeah, she was born in St. Paul. She grew up on the slopes of Buck Hill in Burnsville, Minnesota, which is not a mountain at all. It's a hill, but a lot of people have gotten their skiing start there, which is really strange. So that is your answer, Lindsey Vonn.
We're trying to get listeners, Dan, not listing places in Minnesota that nobody's ever heard of.
And that was your Minnesota Minute.
Last time we did that, we learned about water carnivals.
Yeah.
I thought it was ice carnivals, but yeah, okay.
Well, there's ice carnivals too.
Oh, that's different.
It depends on the time of year, you know.
Quick, Vinny, change the subject quickly.
Yeah, there was a good bar I went to in St. Paul once.
Thank you. That was perfect.
Yeah, when I interviewed Jeremy Bloom. So
wow,
there we
nice.
go. That's
That guy.
pretty cool.
That guy.
Yeah.
Greek athlete.
All right, we're moving on to question number 2 in Flop, Turn, and River. This time it is, what am I? Question 1. I've been contested annually since 1946. Number 2, my original venue was named after me, and I resided there until 1993. And number 3, I've seen controversy as a losing team once fired their legendary coach after having punched an opposing player when they had sealed the win for their team.
If you like it, I don't hate it, and I like to gamble.
All right. Well, we didn't gamble the first one, so we'll probably gamble this one. And
I trust you. I mean, we're both Jeopardy champions. We might as well.
right.
You've won 3 games between you, I think.
Yeah, at least.
Okay. I'll go ahead. Want to go ahead and check in?
Yeah, we'll check it.
All right. Jeopardy champions have checked in. So Jim Irsay's, what are you? Your fever dream or something like that?
It doesn't matter.
Your Saturday Night Fever. You could talk this one out, or you can just go on to another question.
Leads me to a bowl game. I just don't remember what bowl game this was in. I knew it was a bowl game. So I'm trying to think of bowl games named after or that have venues like I said, originally the Rose Bowl, but I don't think that's right. And I said the Cotton Bowl. Can you think of any other bowl game that was like that was the name of the stadium as well? Because that's what I honestly think that's it. I just don't know which one it is, especially because over time, bowl games change, venues change. There's 2 Cheez-It bowls. You know what I mean? Like, cool stuff like that.
There's 2 Cheez-It.
He's not wrong.
No, I know. It's just...
I don't think
Kimmel's
the Cheez-It Bowl is played at the Cheez-It Bowl, though.
I agree. I wish it was. They should just name a stadium.
I'm going to give you a theory.
Okay.
I'm riffing on what you said about being a bowl game. We originally in the chat, we threw out that Woody Hayes might be involved here because he was definitely a legendary coach who famously took out a Clemson player.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was in a bowl game. So now the question is, the first question would be what stadiums are named like the Miami, there used to be a stadium called the Orange Bowl, right? And then they picked up sponsorship and then
correct.
Okay. But I think that maybe the Clemson Ohio State game was in the Gator Bowl. And the Gator Bowl would not have gone back as far as the Rose Bowl started like near the turn of the century. I think the Orange Bowl goes back further than that. The Cotton Bowl certainly goes back further than that. I feel like it might be the Gator Bowl. How crazy is that?
It's not crazy because I've heard of the Gator Bowl, but I just didn't know that. So you're positive that it was named after a stadium, or the stadium was named after.
I believe there was a stadium.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I believe there was a stadium called the actual Gator Bowl, and I think I'm rusty on when it went away, but it might have been the 1993. That would be about right. That could be totally it. I think it's the Gator Bowl.
Okay, well then let's do that.
Yeah. All right, we'll check in with the Gator Bowl.
All right. And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, we were able to kind of suss this out as well. Woody Hayes was part of our logic here, as well as looking at what stadiums may have occurred there. And I thought about it. The Jaguars expansion franchise was awarded around that time, 94, 95. So it would have opened and they would have moved it. I think it was called Ericsson and Maltel and all these Everbank and whatever it's called now. It's been renamed several things since then. So, but I'm pretty sure they transferred the Gator Bowl, and that's what we checked in.
All right. Well, the next 2 questions would have been, I am played in a current NFL stadium, and Mazda, Outback, and Toyota were past sponsors, but now am sponsored by Tax Slayer. The answer is the Gator Bowl.
Did you say Toyota? Nice. Did you say Toyota? I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Toyota, yes.
Yeah, just making sure. That one hurt my head.
Yeah, that felt good. That was an alley-oop. That was there, David.
No, that was a total team effort. I wasn't thinking about bowl games, and I'd forgotten until we both threw Woody Hayes out so quickly that, yeah.
Well, once you said it was Clemson, I was like, okay, well, then it's got to be a bowl game. And then, you go from there. And then I forgot about the Gator Bowl, if I'm being honest. There's so many.
Well, the first thing, for some reason, when he said somebody who punched an opposing player, my first name popped in my head was Juwan Howard, and I was like, wait, he'd get fired. So,
Vinny, you did reason that out very well, that it was the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium that it moved into at that time in 1993, and I was hoping someone would pick up on that.
I mean, it helps. I just went there. I had to see my wife's team, Notre Dame, so just went to whatever it's called now. I can't even remember.
I think it's TIAA.
Is it TIAA?
TIAA Cref or whatever. But yeah, there's so many
all elite stadium.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice stadium, I'll have to say.
Yes, but it's in Jacksonville, so that's the trade-off.
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
Love you, Chris. I love you, Chris. All right. Last question in the round. This is a when am I? Question 1. The New England Patriots played in the Super Bowl. 2. Phil Jackson coached in the NBA Finals. 3. Tiger Woods won 2 major tournaments.
All right, we're going to check in.
I was not expecting that, but Stalking Lindsey Vonn has checked in. Jeopardy champions, you can talk this out.
I'm thinking 2002 through 2006, but to figure out. So
with Super Bowl 40 and Super Bowl 37, because that was Raiders and Steelers. So it's not 03 so it's one of the other years in that range.
So if it's not 03, then it's 2005. They beat the Eagles.
That would be the repeat after the Panthers Super Bowl.
Yeah. So
you want to gamble on this one too? I mean,
I don't like that they checked in, which makes me feel like I have to now.
Yeah.
That's why it's enough, David.
I mean, it's tough. It's probably between those 2 years.
Yeah. What was it? Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was coaching in 2005. I mean, for this to make sense, all of these things have to narrow down to 1 year. This can't cover 2 years, right? If it's not a flawed question. I would never expect Dan to have a flawed question. So
it'd have to be on the front or back end of the Lakers and the back end of the Patriots.
I say let's go with it. 2005.
Okay, let's do it.
Check in with 2005, Dan.
All right, and Lindsey Vonn Stalker, what'd you say?
Well, I just want to say that when I threw out a guess, Markkus said, well, what percentage confident are you? And I said 70, which might have been a little bit high, but I think he wanted me to check in just so we could watch Eric squirm. So it may have been worth it, even if we got this wrong. But we went with 2002.
All right. This is where Eric's going to kick himself after he hears this one. The next question would have been, Canada defeats the United States to win the Olympic gold medal in both men's and women's tournaments. And number 5, Troy Glaus wins the World Series MVP as his Angels defeat the Giants in 7 games. The correct answer is 2002.
Ooh.
So the fact that the first 3 clues cover 2005 doesn't mean anything?
No, because the next ones, if you would have gotten
Okay.
Wait. 2005 was already the Spurs, right? So Phil Jackson wasn't even in the finals in 2005. I don't think. Wait, maybe I'm wrong about that. The Spurs would have been playing.
You know what? Here's the problem with it. Yeah. I apologize, Vinny.
Yeah.
I didn't read the question.
There
on brand. That's what we're here for.
That's my drinking game.
I saw Phil Jackson coached in the NBA and I shut off after that. So
okay,
my fault.
I was wondering when you went, was he coaching in the NBA then? And
yeah,
I'm like,
right there it is. yeah,
kind of.
All right. After the first quarter, we have a score of Jeopardy Champions is at 80 and Stalking Lindsey Vonn's Night Fever is at 120. We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks. Today's second quarter will be The Missing Link. The Missing Link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
You know what, Dan?
Wow.
You knew I was going to be in on this, didn't you, Dan?
So I'm getting all my bingo card things scratched off here.
You
Eric
are.
not reading the question and then immediately groaning about the missing link.
Question number 1 in the missing link. Name the person missing from this list. Tenley Albright, Carol Heiss, Dorothy Hamill, Peggy Fleming, Tara Lipinski, Sarah Hughes.
Oh, yeah. Dorothy Hamill voiced the Joker.
We can check in then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Jeopardy champions have checked in, so the Fever Dream, talk it out.
So these are gold medalist figure skaters, lady gold medalist figure skaters from the US, and they're almost in chronological order. Peggy Fleming and Dorothy Hamill would have to be swapped, I think. But anyway, the one that's missing in my mind is Christy Yamaguchi. How do you feel about that?
I love Christy Yamaguchi, so yeah.
Okay. We will check in with Christy Yamaguchi.
And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, we we're looking at the list, and that was the name missing, and that's the one that I remember the most. So I think she married to what is it, Brett Hedican?
Yes.
Former hockey player.
Carolina Hurricane.
Yeah, he was. I think he was on the Olympic team for US as well.
U.S. hockey player.
She actually used to show up at a lot of Carolina Hurricane games, which is in my backyard. Yeah.
So yeah, we also locked in or checked in with Christy Yamaguchi.
So what we've learned on this question so far is that David floods his backyard and the Carolina Hurricanes play there. That's impressive. That's what you just said.
What did I say?
You said that they play in your backyard.
Oh, so okay. I was very confused for a minute what that meant. All right, I'm with you.
That was fairly obvious what you said there. The correct answer is Christy Yamaguchi. So both teams will be getting points on this one. So the theme-based answer so far, Christy Yamaguchi.
Got it. Vinny can confirm I sent it to him.
I love it.
All right. Question number 2. He is one of only 6 major leaguers to accumulate 400 saves. This former Rolaids Relief Man of the Year played his final season in 2010 for the Atlanta Braves.
All right, we'll check in.
Jeopardy champions have checked in, so Jim Irsay, you can talk it out.
Okay, so Mariano Rivera obviously got there, but never, he finished with the Yankees. Lee Smith pitched for everybody, but didn't last to 2010. Trevor Hoffman finished with the Brewers.
And then I asked you if Rob Nen got there. Or
Rob Nen did not get that high, but the second name you threw out is key.
Billy Wagner.
Yes, that's correct. Right. The shortest guy ever who could throw 100 miles an hour.
Oh, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. I'm pretty sure he finished with the Braves, and 2010 sounds about right.
Yeah, the time frame fit. I just wasn't sure because I know where did he go after the Astros? Phillies? Didn't he pitch for the Phillies for a little bit?
He might have. That sounds right. Yeah.
But you're confident that he finished with the Braves?
I'm pretty confident, and 2010 sounds right. So
okay,
I think it's him. Yeah,
let's do it.
Yep. All right. Cool. We'll check in with Billy Wagner.
All right. Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, they kind of said everything that I was thinking. Time frame for somebody over 400 saves. He's the only one that would have played in probably 2010 that wasn't, Rivera and all them. So Billy Wagner.
Both teams are getting their points on this one. Correct answer is Billy Wagner. I don't really have anything else to say about him. He got a lot of saves, was kind of short, threw hard. That's about all you have to say about him. So your theme-based answers so far, Christy Yamaguchi, Billy Wagner. Moving on to question number 3. The original ring name, which is also his actual first name, of the WWE superstar and current Intercontinental Champion known as Gunther.
We can check in.
All right. The Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever has checked in. Jeopardy champions, you can talk this one out for a little bit longer.
I've been watching a lot of old wrestling on Peacock. We don't have a sponsorship with them or anything, but if they want to, go ahead.
Not yet. We'll get them.
So I'll fall asleep watching it and then random stuff pops up. So I, like 2 a.m., will catch myself watching stuff that I've never intended. The name Walter came to mind, and that's all I have.
You might as well. If that came to you, it's
Yeah, well, that's one of those
there has to be
stupid
a
things.
reason.
Yeah,
there must be a reason. It's a very specific name.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Since we got nothing better, we're gonna go with Walter.
All right. And Jim Irsay, what did you say?
I'll tell you what, brother. I don't know. That was a bad say. I'll get it dialed in at some point. But yeah, I knew this
Hulk
right
Hogan.
Well, they're remarkably similar. Yeah, I knew this one right off the bat. I don't watch WWE as frequently anymore, but I know enough. And one of these annoying things that they like to do, well, Vince liked to do when guys came or got famous with another name is, now I'm going to change that name so I can copyright it and make money off of it. And Gunther was the name change for Walter. And that is what we checked in with.
Both teams are getting their points. Correct answer is Walter. His name is Walter Hahn. And yeah, they moved him over to the main brand and they called him Gunther, which is just stupid.
Like, if you're going to let him be one basic name, don't change it to Gunther. Just let it be Walter. That was awesome.
I mean, he was way over and just incredibly powerful as Walter. I mean, he was the guy that just wrecked everyone. Now he's Gunther. All right, so our theme-based answers so far: Christy Yamaguchi, Billy Wagner, and Walter. Moving on to question number 4. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 2019, this former Michigan Wolverine cornerback has won 3 Super Bowls and is the all-time leader for interceptions for the team that he played for the longest.
All right, I'll check it in.
All right, Jeopardy champions have checked in. So, Stalking Lindsey Vonn, what'd you say?
I tried to pull an E and not read the question. Didn't look at Super Bowls, just said Michigan, all-time leader for interceptions for the team he played longest for. I was like, haha, got it. And I started off with Charles Woodson, and then I went, and then David said, and then I read the question again. 3 Super Bowls, and as I was typing, David shot over Ty Law, so I say we check in with Ty Law.
And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, I mean, I knew when it was 3 Super Bowls, it wasn't Charles Woodson, and it was late for Charles Woodson. So it had to be the other one, Ty Law.
Both teams are getting their points on this one. Correct answer is Ty Law. So our theme-based answers so far: Christy Yamaguchi, Billy Wagner, Walter, and Ty Law. Question number 5. A 2-time gold and 1-time silver medalist at the Los Angeles Olympics. She would go on to take up an entirely different sport where she would win 41 times, including a tournament that was named after her.
And you dirty bird.
Well, we will check in.
Stalking Lindsey Vonn has checked in. Jeopardy champions, you can talk this one out.
Yeah, we had to go back in time, and we kind of had to think about who played a lot of sports. The women played a lot of sports back in the day. And Ede reminded me of the first name, and then we had the last 2 names. So I think we're going to check in with Babe Didrikson Zaharias.
Okay. And Stalking Lindsey Vonn, what did you say?
So full honesty here, we just checked in with Babe Didrikson. I'm hoping that's okay. We didn't have the Zaharias.
Part of what she did was as Babe Didrikson, so that's fine. We'll give you that.
Okay.
Both teams are getting their answers or getting the questions right on that one. That's Babe Didrikson Zaharias. So for the last time, your theme-based answers so far, or for the round, are Christy Yamaguchi, Billy Wagner, Walter, Ty Law, and Babe Didrikson Zaharias. One team has checked in so far, so I will say that Jeopardy champions, you can actually talk this one out.
All right. We didn't know where to go exactly with this. I think we started with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
No. We started with Christy Yamaguchi made a cameo in Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh, that's right. That was before. That was my first one.
So
Then we
that's
had
And then you
Christy-
realize that I'm not you.
Yeah.
And
Then
I
it-
didn't
then-
write that.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't show up. Chris
Yeah.
Chelios didn't show up. Luke Robitaille, Wayne Gretzky.
Right.
None of those were answers. So
Basil McRae.
I was out.
Then Christy and Billy sounded like kids that would be on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
There were 5 of them. So I thought that could be it. And then
So just for the record, episode 92, the first episode I was ever on, Markkus did a missing link. It was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
maybe that's back of my head, and that's what I'm thinking. I was hoping could it be again. Maybe it's a new
That's right. There's a new generation.
Yeah. Then came up Walter, and whenever I think Walter, I think of Breaking Bad, but then I'm not a big fan of the show, so I don't know all the supporting characters' names. But based on the last clue, we're gonna check in with the famous pigs.
Okay. I will say that both of you, within like 5 seconds of one another, sent me the Breaking Bad characters at the same time. And that is not it. David and Markkus, however, you did come up with the correct answer. So if one of you wants to walk that one through, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Babe was the tip off. So we mailed in Breaking Bad when we had nothing to lose after the 4th clue, and I kept thinking like it's possible it's Breaking Bad characters, but Walter should have been last if that was the thing. So when we saw Babe, suddenly looked back and saw Ty and said, "Aha! Original Hall of Fame class of baseball was Babe Ruth, Ty Law. Listen to me, Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson, Honus Wagner, and the gentleman." My favorite of the group, Christy Matheson. I was obsessed with him when I was a kid because my dad, when I was a little kid, was a professor at Bucknell, which is where Christy Matheson went. And there's all this stuff on the Bucknell campus that's named for Christy Matheson. So anyway, yes. So Christy threw me, obviously, because it's not spelled anywhere close to.
That's what threw it off, yeah.
Anyway, yes. But it was the original Hall of Fame class of baseball in 1930s.
That's why I said you're a dirty bird, Dan, because I was like, Christy,
Yeah.
dang it. It got us all off of
Sneaky.
Protest, though, because it shouldn't be fair when that David personally knows every one of them.
Ouch.
We just said they were all pigs, so
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm
you're
pretty
probably
sure
not wrong.
Right. I was about to say, I mean, right.
I just heard you call Christy Yamaguchi a pig. That's
Christy
what I
the
just
pig,
heard.
the famous Christy the pig.
Yeah. All right. Well, after the second quarter, we have scores of Jeopardy champions are at 180, and Stalking Lindsey Vonn through a Jim Irsay's fever dream is at 270. And that will bring us to halftime. It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points. Question number 1 in halftime. In the 1961 film The Hustler, Paul Newman portrays Eddie Felson, an up-and-coming pool player who has his sights on beating the legendary Minnesota Fats, who was portrayed by which legendary TV actor?
We'll check in.
You see, you're writing these questions for David.
So, all right. So, Jeopardy champions, you can talk this one out.
He's got the poster behind him.
All right, I think we've got this one too. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah, he wasn't Minnesota skinny. He was Minnesota Fats. So it had to be a big dude, and it's Honeymooners Jackie Gleason.
All right. And Lindsey Vonn, what did you say?
Jackie Gleason.
Both teams are getting their points on this one. Correct answer is Jackie Gleason. See, that wasn't that bad, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, you've heard of Jackie Gleason?
He
You know
said
what that's
Jackie
from?
Gleason,
Nobody?
and I thought of it's his name's probably not even close to Jackie Gleason. I immediately thought of the dude from Caddyshack 2.
Rodney Dangerfield?
No,
Caddyshack
Caddyshack
2.
2. Caddyshack 2. The old guy from Caddyshack 2. What's his name? Nobody's even seen Caddyshack 2.
I'm not sure I have seen Caddyshack 2.
Oh,
What
wait a
is
minute.
his name?
Wasn't Jackie Mason in that? Is that
That's it. There
Right.
he is.
Jesus.
There he is.
All right.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Also In the 1961 film The Hustler, the small role of the bartender was played by which former boxer, the story of whom was brought to the big screen 19 years later?
You can check in.
Jim Irsay has checked in. So Jeopardy champions, you can talk this one out.
1961 movie.
Apparently, this is David's high school reunion. Halftime.
All right, I think we can get this one because that would put it right at 1980. It has to be then Jake LaMotta. I heard he was kind of small acting career, so it has to be him if it's Raging Bull.
All right.
All right.
I trust you.
All right.
All right. And Stalking Jim Irsay, what did you say?
Yeah, it is Jake LaMotta.
Both teams getting points. See, this is not that difficult, Eric.
I haven't done anything.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Well, this is going to be okay because this next one actually isn't a sports question.
Mighty Ducks 2.
Here we go. I mean, I guess it kind of tangentially is, but here we go. Question number 3 in halftime. In the final scene of Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta looks at himself in the mirror and quotes the famous "I could have been a contender" speech, originally made famous in which 1954 Oscar winner?
We can check in.
We can check in too.
So okay, well, I'm going to say that Jeopardy champions got in first. So Saturday Night Fever, you can talk it out or just give me your answer.
I know this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I could not do a good Brando for you, but it's On the Waterfront.
All right, and Jeopardy champions?
Yes, we had the same answer, On the Waterfront. I think who's the guy that Art Carney? See the guy that
we did have the same answer. We had the same answer. All right.
Well, okay. Well, we're
I know.
I mean, you just like I'm leaning on you for future hockey questions that will be in this.
There won't be any.
Yeah, there'll be 2. There are always 2 buried there somewhere. But yeah, same thing. But On the Waterfront, good movie. Yeah, they kill it. Spoiler alert, it's not very happy.
Not happy at all. But yes, both teams are getting points on this one. Correct answer is On the Waterfront. So that was a fun halftime. We're done with it.
It was?
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. There you go.
Eric, you're going to look back on this halftime and think that this was one of the best games of your life. And Markkus was here too. All right. After halftime, we have a score of Jeopardy champions has 240 and Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever is at 330. Now on to the second half. We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks. Today's third quarter will be Lucky Sevens. Lucky 7. For this quarter, there will be 3 lists containing 7 items. The team that is trailing coming into the quarter will choose the first list and attempt to identify the items on this list one at a time. If the team has an incorrect guess, the other team can attempt to finish that list out. The team leading at the beginning of the quarter will select the second list, and whichever team is trailing after the first 2 lists will get the third list. Each item is worth 10 points. I'm going to give you your 3 categories right now. I know which one that Eric and Vinnie are going to go for, but let's just read them anyway. First one, the last 7 unique winners of the UEFA Champions League. Number 2, 7 nations that have medaled first, second, or third place in baseball at the Olympics since 1992. And the third one, 7 active teams to have made the Stanley Cup finals, but never won the cup.
The way Eric's face lit up.
I have a suggestion. We should let our guests decide which one to go with. Right,
Guess what? I got Olympic baseball and UEFA Champions League.
All right, we can check in.
Jeopardy champions have checked in. So, Eric, you can go ahead and start. Unless Vinny is the one that came up with these.
Vinny, you can give it your first one.
Okay.
You
All right,
gave me that right away.
Okay. We have the Ottawa Senators.
That is correct.
Canucks.
Damn right. That's right. They've never won a cup.
And I had also had the Florida Panthers losing to Eads Avalanche.
I have that written down. Florida Panthers losing to Eads Avalanche. Correct.
I actually have a coaster thanks to one Dan Lundberg with
you're welcome,
the Krupp goal on it. And then we have the Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Correct.
Predators.
Nashville Predators is also correct.
San Jose Sharks.
San Jose Sharks. And why don't you tell me the last one?
The Sabres.
Yes, that's correct. You've gotten all 7 and have run the category. Excellent job. All right. So I have to ask, Jim Irsay's Fever Dream. Which one are you going to take?
I can't remember what number it is, but we'll take the Olympic medalists in baseball.
All right. The 7 nations that have medaled first, second, or third place in baseball at the Olympics since 1992.
We'll check in.
All right. You can go ahead and start that list off for me.
Okay. The USA.
USA is correct.
Japan.
Japan is correct.
Cuba.
Cuba is correct.
Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei is correct.
South Korea.
South Korea is correct.
Dominican Republic.
The DR is correct. You have 1 left to go.
And I think this was the surprise answer. I think I remember Australia winning a medal, maybe even in Athens, or in Australia. But Australia's our 7th.
Australia is also correct. Good job. You have run that category.
I knew some of those.
He did.
All right. So that means that we're going back to Jeopardy champions for the last list, which is the last 7 unique winners of the UEFA Champions League.
Vinny, if you're good, we can check in.
Yeah, go for it.
You.
All right. Go ahead and read us off that list then.
You got Real Madrid.
Real Madrid in 2022.
Chelsea
in 2021.
One Matt Doherty's Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich 2020.
One Eric Eads Liverpool
2019.
Barcelona
2015.
Inter Milan
2010.
and then that would just leave Man U.
Manchester United 2008. Congratulations, you have run all 3 lists, gentlemen, which makes the score very, very interesting. Because after the third quarter, we are at Jeopardy champions 380, and Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever is at 400. And that brings us to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total. The categories for today are as follows: double-double, wins above replacement, the tip-off, and ejection. Double-double will be in the NBA, wins above replacement, baseball, the tip-off, college basketball, and ejection is going to be relocation. It's now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1, in double-double. Of the 13 NBA players that have scored 2,000 points in a season for at least 2 franchises, only one team has had 3 of those players do it for their franchise. Name that franchise. Is this sufficiently a David question, by the way?
For sure there's a David question.
Okay.
I would have been proud to write this.
All right. We'll check in.
Jeopardy champions have checked in. So, Lindsey, Vonn, you can talk it out really quickly.
What have you got? You throw something out there. I'm sure.
I threw my answer out there.
It's
but...
not. It can't be the Bucks. It can't be.
Then pick one of the other ones.
The Lakers seems too obvious. I mean, what do you think? All right, we're going to say the Rockets.
All right. And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, we were all over the place on this one. Did we start at the Lakers? Maybe went to
Lakers. We went to OKC. We went to the 76ers. We went everywhere. And yeah, we ended up with, go ahead, Vinny.
Yeah, we circled back and we wanted to go with the team that had the most options. And we did some math on this one to realize it was probably about 20, 25 points per game in that range. They played all the games. So we also checked in with the Rockets.
No points on this one.
Yeah.
I never heard this franchise mentioned at all. And the three players were Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, and Kiki Vandeweghe.
Oh, the
Denver
Nuggets. Wow.
I forgot Iverson went to the.
I didn't forget. I didn't think he
Nuggets.
crossed that threshold in a season.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely did it. He definitely did it in
that.
Philly. He did it a bunch in Philly because he was over 30 points a game. But
well, yeah,
Denver,
but I didn't think he got there in Denver.
Denver,
is what I'm saying. I thought there was no chance he averaged 25 a game.
Honestly,
in Denver.
That was rough.
I forgot Carmelo was a human being until right now.
Has a great mustache.
Yeah,
apparently.
If because he's jumped around so much, we should have just looked at him and kills me.
And I didn't get your points on that one, but it was 100 for both of you.
Yeah, correct.
All right. So
we wagered 2,000 points and lost.
All right. Question number 2 in wins above replacement. Buckle in. Eric's going to hate this one. I'm just telling you right now.
What David classmate?
Okay, here we go. Of all first basemen, 2 had the highest WAR statistic during the administration of 2 different United States presidents. One was during the Hoover and Coolidge administrations, and one was during the Harding and Wilson administrations.
Oh my God.
Both played that entire stretch for one team, and each of those teams were in the American League. Name both of them.
Holy.
Check it in.
Alrighty.
All right. Jeopardy champions have checked in. Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever. Talk it out.
Okay, so Woodrow Wilson and Harding. Wilson became president in 2013, and Harding died in office, and I'm going to say it's about 23. And when he died, I think Calvin Coolidge took over. So the ranges we're talking about are 1913 to 1923, and then 1923 to 1933 when FDR became president. So if that's the case, the second one is almost certainly Lou Gehrig. And now I'm trying to remember first baseman who played in the 1913 to 1920 early 20s.
Yeah, totally. I'm thinking of that too.
You got any names at all from then?
No. You've gone too far.
I mean, the second one is definitely Lou Gehrig. George Sisler played around there, and he was a first baseman. I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Ichiro broke his single season hits record.
Oh, this is cute. I think it's Wally Pipp. Because Lou Gehrig famously took over for Wally Pipp, who was a pretty good first baseman for the Yankees. It's possible that Wally Pipp, he played for a good long time, I think. Oh,
I'm all for cute answers, David. You know this.
Pip is a cute name, so
it is.
Pip.
And Mary, Pip and Mary.
Shut up, Pip.
I'm just trying to think of if there's anybody else who would be even close.
Come on, David. You were feeling it. Ride the wave.
I thought he was just, yeah.
I'm not going to have anything for you, so you're arguing with yourself.
Wait, what did he say? Okay, so both played for the entire stretch for one team, and both were in the American League. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. Wally Pipp, did he play for anybody but the Yankees? He might have actually. That's the problem. He might have played for. Oh wait. Oh, played for that entire stretch for one team because he might have played later for somebody else. I'll be pissed if I don't say this and it turns out to be it. So I'm gonna go with Pipp and Gehrig.
All right. And
for 100 points.
Oh, for 100 points? And,
yes, correct.
Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, got to Lou Gehrig pretty fast here because I knew it was the second of those administrations, or the later one was in the 20s, and it's got to be him at first base. And the other, try to use some logic on it. I knew it had to be someone who also was prolific at that time with stats and had to probably be in the Hall of Fame. And then I had to go to League of Their Own a little bit for this to see if he would be the right age, because it was Tom Hanks' character was supposed to be him as an older manager in his 50s. So I went backwards. That was World War II. So based on the time frame, went with Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig.
Neither team are getting their points. However, Jimmy Fox is the leader in war for the Roosevelt administration.
Is it George Sisler?
Lou Gehrig was absolutely Hoover and Coolidge, and St. Louis Browns legend George Sisler.
Damn it.
Was for Harding and Wilson.
So close.
Just so that we have I have it in front of me. I've got all of the presidents from Obama through McKinley. Just a couple of them that jump out at me. Miguel Cabrera for Obama and Albert Pujols for George W. Bush. Gil Hodges for Eisenhower, Keith Hernandez for Carter. So there's a lot of them on there, but yeah. Well, we're going to move on to question number 3 in the tip-off. The inaugural NCAA men's basketball championship saw the Oregon Webfoots defeating the Ohio State University in a high-scoring affair of 46-33. Over 15,000 people gathered to see the spectacle on the home court of which now Power 5 school, which ironically didn't make the tournament themselves for another 78 years.
Check in.
All right. Jeopardy champions have checked in. Stalking Jim Irsay, you can talk it out.
So this may seem like a David question because Oregon was the champions, but our guest is an alum of Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, and that's where this game was. So we're checking in with Northwestern for 100 points.
All right. And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, I've actually played in this gym. It's not that big at all. And there weren't 15,000 people there to see us. It was just a pickup game. And some pickup games at Northwestern got rough. So I just remember getting fouled hard probably a few times. But yeah, this was in Patton Gym, really tiny gym, North Campus, Northwestern. And I believe the year was 1939. Not to date myself.
All of that is correct. The correct answer is Northwestern. I had this question written a while ago before I realized who was on the game. And then I saw that I found out that Vinny had gone to Northwestern and then that David was in the game. And I was like, well,
we needed a mulligan in this round.
Yeah, we sure did.
All right. So after the third question, we have a barn burner going on here. We have a score of 300-300 going into the fourth question. And the fourth question in ejection is this: 5 different states have lost a Big Four sports franchise to the state of California. Name all 5 states.
We'll check in, Daniel.
All right. Jeopardy champions have checked in. Stalking Jim Irsay, you can talk it out.
All right. For sure, we have the Minnesota Lakers moved to Los Angeles. The Warriors moved from Philadelphia, so Pennsylvania. So that's Minnesota and Pennsylvania. There are a few from New York, obviously, because the Dodgers, the baseball giants, the Kings all came because the Kings came from Buffalo. So that's the state of New York. There were a few that we thought of from Missouri because the St. Louis Rams moved to Los Angeles, but also the Kansas City A's moved to Oakland. And the only one that I'm really playing with in my head is I thought when the Rams first came to Los Angeles, it was because they were moving from Ohio, but I don't know if that counts because they've moved around a couple of times, obviously. But if we panic, Markkus, I think Ohio is our number 5. I can't think of another state. Do you have anything else in your head?
I've been racking my brain and I really can't grab onto anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So given that we don't have time, all right. Well, just in the interest of time and sanity, we'll go Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York, Missouri, Ohio.
All right. And Jeopardy champions, what did you say?
Yeah, similar discussion here. Missouri, there was multiple options for Missouri, so I went there. Minneapolis, kind of circled back to that with the Lakers and went to Minnesota. New York was the Giants, Dodgers. We had Pennsylvania from the Warriors, and then so I guess the Rams did it twice here. Once from Missouri and once from Ohio as the Cleveland Rams to LA Rams.
And we bet 100 points. And David, just so you don't get any hate mail, the Kings did not leave Buffalo, or they did not leave Buffalo to become the Kings. They are the Clippers.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
I
figured it was
no,
just,
you're right. That's absolutely right. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say.
Both teams bet 100 and both teams got their points.
Ooh.
That is correct. You guys got everything on there. Minnesota was the Lakers. Missouri was the Athletics, the Rams, and the Kings. New York was the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Clippers. Ohio was the Rams, and Pennsylvania was the Warriors. Which means we have a tie at 40-40, which means we are going to get a bonus question. And this one's going to be nice and fun. It's going to be a number answer, and whoever gets closest to the pin is going to get the imaginary points, and we'll have the win of the game. Here we go. The question is, when Jake LaMotta retired from the ring in 1954, how many wins did he have? Both teams have given me their final answers for the tiebreaker for Jake LaMotta's win total. The Jeopardy champion said 75, and they said 85.
Oh boy!
I'm going to tell you right now, the answer is not 80. So we will have a winner.
Decisive.
Jake LaMotta basically would fight anybody, and got a lot of wins. His final tally was 83 wins. So, stalking Jim Irsay's Saturday night Lindsey Vonn fever has won the game with 400 points to the Jeopardy champions also having 400 points. My goodness, everybody.
Wow.
That was a game.
Yeah.
That was a game. So the game has come to an end. And like I said, the final scores are going to be 400-400. I say both teams, you guys give yourselves a round of applause. That was amazing. But our clipboard captains of the game, who are going to receive the coveted Mike Kafka Award, is going to go to Jim Irsay's Saturday Night Fever. Vinnie, I want to thank you for coming on. This was a blast. I got to see some great questions and answers come through you guys over there. I want to give the floor to you. Just anything you want to say before we call it a night.
Yeah, I apologize to the families of the 5 original Hall of Famers for comparing them to a porcine or whatever bacon. Bacon. So I'm sorry I did that. And Christy is not Miss Piggy's real name, so that's probably confirmed here that it's not her first name. But in all seriousness, I had a blast. And if you guys want me to host sometime, I got some sporting news back there, all the way back to 1886 when I was born. So we can have that. But seriously, I do have a lot of sporting news history, and maybe we can quiz you on some covers and stories of our past as well.
We will have our people get in touch with your people, and we will make that happen.
Yeah. So a lot of
absolutely. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah. The other last thing I will say is just a little bit of a small PSA for people out there. My wife and I became foster parents last year, so that's an important thing out there. If you can do it and you're able, please do it. There's a lot of kids out there that need, especially during this time. So
bless you two for that. That is amazing.
Well,
that is really
if you're
awesome.
able to do that, my hats are off to you.
and you can still be a sports writer when you do that. So
I have a couple kids that I can just hand out if anybody.
That's not the way this works, Eric.
Oh no, you know that's all right.
I know.
I just for like a week. A week.
Foster weeks.
yeah.
Right. Well, on behalf of David and Markkus and Eric Eid and myself, I'd like to say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.